Greetings, everyone in YouTube land. This is a quick Saturday night live stream. I just figured I would do one. Got a new project to show for everyone who hasn't seen it yet, and for everyone who is catching this at a later date. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, this is for everyone who's catching this on a later date, but we got some people arriving now. I'll let a few people arrive before I get my mojo working and show you a couple of new things. One new thing is very drastic. What's up? What's up? Let's see. Tonight's programs always brought to you by Red Bull. I got a new project that I'm working on. I'll show y'all here shortly. Oh, had hibachi tonight. Really couldn't afford it. It's like $60, but it's worth it. Yeah, Swamp Donkey. Yeah. Waiting on Fast Jimmy to get in here. I texted him. I don't know if he's going to get in there or not. So how's it going, everybody? I'm tired. Okay. There we go. We're getting some more people in here. 2 reveals to do. What's up, Mini Dreams? How's it going, brother? What's up? What's up? I know my head looks funky, right? I was going bald, so I just said to hell with it. I'm going to do the Jason Statham. But, yeah, I did my first little weathering job here, and I wanted to show you guys. So, since we got a few of y'all in here, show you here. Oh. Now, it's far from done, but here it is. There you go. And the idea behind it is it's got a brand new front cap. The bottom has been redone. The interior is brand new. You know, and they're just working on it. How far am I from? I don't know. You're talking about here in Mississippi? Oh, Bourbon Street? About 45 minutes. But I can show you guys how to do this. This is a very easy method. A lot of people try to do it by adding the rust after they paint. As you can see, what's up, Jimmy? I was at the casino last week. What casino? Come on, focus. Yeah, see, that was adding the rust afterwards really is hard to do. You got to add washes afterwards. But to show you guys how I did it, yeah, I got sick of my hair. I got sick of my hair and said, fuck it. Huh. Well, you was Culver's not too far from me there, Mini Dreams. Alright. If you want to do a rusting job like that, it's really easy. You paint all of the rust color. What I did was I painted a dark brown, and then I misted different colors over the top of it. That's all lacquer rattle can, actually. But I misted a bunch of different reds and blacks over that brown. And then after that dried, I took Elmer's glue and a makeup sponge, and I got pieces off of the sponge, dipped it in the Elmer's glue, and then I tapped it on the car in different spots. Right? Just tapped it on the car. And then afterwards, after it dried, sometimes you can't see the glue, but after it dried, I very lightly misted some metallic blue over it. Just very little, very thin coat. I mean, just enough to cover all of it. Then let it dry. After that was dry, I took some warm soapy water and a toothbrush, and I just lightly scrubbed on it. And that's what you get. That's what you get. And I know you really can't see it that well, but it looks like real rust. You know, it really does. Looks like real rust. And now you can add your washes and such to make it look better. The interior, I used the that stuff Jimmy used on the floorboard. The powder, the embossing powder, which I recommend for anyone that has never used the embossing powder. It is so much easier to use than the flocking. And I'll show you right here. The rear panel here where the speakers go, that's red embossing powder. And I sprayed it red, and then I sprinkled the embossing powder on it. And if I can get into the... And the floorboard is also black embossing powder. You know, and I think it came out pretty good. I really do. You know, I'm going to tone down that red a little bit, but let's see if I can get to focus. So there's your rust. That's Elmer's glue. You know, on top of that brown coat. There. This has no washes or nothing on it yet, and I'm trying to get it close in there so you guys can see, you know, a lot of... Come on. Focus, mofo. There you go. Come on. So it's a little light right now, but once you get the washes on there, it'll be just fine. Yeah, wonderful for surface rust, and that's what I was trying to do, Minnie, is do a little surface rust thing. The idea of the car is it's going to have a new interior, brand new motor and transmission, brand new front cap, brand new tires and wheels, and all the underneath is going to be brand new looking. But the rest of the car hadn't been done yet. Like they're restoring it, like they found a good car. Much like my Fury I got out there. They found a really good car, and they started working on it. And they haven't done the body yet, so the body is still original. You know, so it's you know, a restoration in progress, so to speak. You know, look, I'm bald. But, yeah, if y'all want to try that method, there it is. You know, it's not that hard to do. And Dr. Cranky is right. It is very, how do you put it, low stress. It's a low stress paint job, you know. I enjoyed doing it, and I'm going to do more. But, got a few things coming up. You're in here, Minnie. Well, you know we're gonna be. Me and Jimmy's gonna be hosting a Cadillac build. Little crew cut. It's the Jason Statham look, man. You know, honestly, when I dealt with the prostate cancer and all that stuff, my hair fell out, and it never came back like it was supposed to, ever. And the top of my head never came back. So it just, I'm trying to find a new look because the long hair obviously can't happen anymore. Which you got to let go of those things in life when you can't have it anymore. So I'm looking for a new look. But yeah, me and Jimmy's hosting this Cadillac build. I'm doing a vintage Johan. Let's see here. Which is going to be this kit here. 31 Caddy. You know, with wicker on the back there. So it's going to be quite the different thing for me. And with this Dodge here, this 65, I'm looking for some wheels, and I'm having trouble finding them. Now, Minnie, you do a lot of aftermarket wheel stuff. Maybe you can steer me in the right direction. Well, thank you, sir. I hope you can use the tip. But what I'm looking for is a steel wheel, but bigger in diameter. They came with 15s, maybe like a 17-inch or an 18-inch steely with a chrome ring around it and a center cap. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't know, I've seen you use similar stuff. I've seen other people use similar stuff, Minnie. So I don't know if y'all are making those by using wheel blanks and cutting stuff out or what. If you are, then steer me in the right direction and I can do that, you know. Yeah, jump in on a caddy build. I'd like to get Minnie to jump in on the caddy build, man. It's going to be fun, man. Minnie is like the lowrider guy. You know, we're not really doing lowriders. We're doing any Cadillac, any year. You know, Zimmerman wheels. Okay. Okay, cool. Uh, yeah, me and Jimmy talked about those. But the idea for the Cadillac build is to do whatever Cadillac you want. Now, Minnie, you got a lot of cool promos. You got a bunch of Johan like me too. And they, you know, they had the lowrider one come out. You got the older Johan stuff like this one here. There's so many different Cadillacs out there. You got to search a little. I know a lot of people will do the Foos Caddy, which is not a problem at all. My girlfriend's going to do the Foos Caddy. I think Swamp Donkey's going to do the Foos Caddy. But there's a lot of ways to build caddies, you know. All right, Minnie, that'd be cool, man. Take a look. I'll gladly pay you for them. You know, I'd gladly pay you for them. Just I think you have a Walmart in your area. I can MoneyGram you some money. But you know, if you got them. But yeah, man, there's several different ways to build caddies, and you know, I'm gonna do mine museum quality, like the car should be in a museum, because this particular car. Let me get the box for you, Minnie. Maybe you've seen it before. Alright. I picked this thing up for $15, I think. Everything is here. It's a 60s Johan kit. Very cool. But this has a wicker thing on here. You know, yeah, that's why I bought it, because it was, for one, it was Johan, and I love these pre-war cars. I mean, I can't get enough of the pre-war cars. They're just so awesome. Even the brass cars. If you guys don't know what brass cars are, look it up. In reality, there was a such thing called brass cars. All right, Minnie, thanks for tuning in. Have a safe journey at work and home. But there was a such thing as brass cars, and they're basically yeah, the brass era cars. Basically, they were like, a lot of them was an open cockpit. A lot of them had, you know, wooden boxes on them, but they had these elaborate brass coverings over the radiators, and everywhere where it was, should be chrome was actually brass, and it had all this beautiful brass stuff all over the cars, and they were just very beautiful cars. Those models are quite hard to find. Area 33 Caddy. Which 33 Caddy you got? Is it all black on the box? It's an all black Caddy. Because that's a cool kid. I think that was the one Fast Jimmy was eyeballing on Facebook first. His might have been a Testers, but it's black. Actually, all white or silver. Okay, well, different one. Different one. But yeah, like an all metal one. This one here has a lot of, like the sides. This has got to be gloss black, but it has a cloth roof. It has wicker around the back, which is probably going to drive me crazy. It has all these really cool things, you know. If you look at the box, it has, you know, all this paintwork in here. You know, all these paint lines here. There's some fine paintwork that's got to be done there. A lot of fine taping. You know, just a very cool car. It's a V16 car, I think. Yes, it's a V16 car. And it has one issue. One of the bumpers is broken, but it was molded that way. And I'll show you that in a minute. But it's molded in a couple of different colors. And for being a car from the 60s, I can't believe how much detail is in this car. I mean, Revell and Monograms were pretty much promos at this time, for the most part. But it has nice wheels, although I know how delicate this red is. And if you ever get a Johan, vintage Johan, and it has red sprues in it, take super extra care, because something about the Johan red plastic is super brittle. I was sanding one of those Johan red hearses and it crumbled in my hands. So you got to be careful with that. Let's see. Another part of the engine. I hear cats back there. Okay, here's the chrome sheet. And you see this right here? Where the bumper's broken? That's actually a mold issue. It was molded that way. It was molded pre-broken. And the reason why I know that, it chromed the brake. See? Y'all done? Want to give it another go? Maybe we can do it on camera. Sell tickets. But as you can see, as soon as I start talking, those little fuck nuts are going to go right back at it, aren't they? Now, anyway, this was broken before it was chromed. But that's okay. I can glue it back together and use the Molotov chrome pen. The chrome on this, some of it's rubbed off because it's been sitting in the box since the 60s. But for the most part, though, it's all here, and it's, you know, in really good shape. All the stuff that has fallen off the sprues, the gentleman was nice enough to put in a bag. So it's here. This car comes with a frame that I have to put together, just like the real deal. and it's just very interesting. It's got some very intricate molding inside the chassis here. Yeah, Pussy Fight. Yeah, Pussy Fight at Joe's. That's what I'm talking about. But, yeah, it's got a lot of really cool detail. Here's the glass, which I don't know if all the glass is here. I just don't know because of age. Oh, there's some more glass that has fallen in. So, yeah, for the most part, the glass is here, so I'm just going to have to be very careful with it. The tires are they're rubber, but they're kind of weird. And then I have some actual glue together plastic tire things that go on the side. Yes, don't you bet. I thought I heard a putty tat. You did. You did hear a putty tat. But this is the one that I'm excited about doing. And I hope that you guys are excited too. You know, I hope that you guys are ready to get into this with me. Put 10 on egg roll. That's who's fighting egg roll. Got a note in here, which I never read. A little note here. I'm just taking my time, moving along. Don't forget about me after I've been gone. Yes, I'll take what I got. I don't want no more. I'm just outside of your front door. Does anybody recognize that? Huh. It's odd. Somebody from Boston would write that. But anyway, like you can see here, a little bit of the chrome. You can see some of the red coming through if I can get it hit just right. And that's okay. That Malthof chrome pin will touch all that up. If you haven't got one of those yet, they actually moved them. When you go to Hobby Lobby, at my Hobby Lobby, they moved it from over the art section over to the model section. That was actually lyrics to a Boston song, if y'all didn't get it. But yeah, I'm just I'm excited about this. I hope you guys are too. I know that my car is looking a lot like Superman. I wanted a darker red, but this gives me a good opportunity. I have some Model Master window tint spray, and I'm going to tint the windows in this car a light tint, not a blacked out Chevy Cheeseburger spray it black, like paint it black, because he likes doing that. I'm going to actually tint the windows, tint them, and these here, and these little vent windows. I'm thinking about putting a crack in the windshield, and this car will be in Atlanta this coming year, this coming year, because we are going this year. It is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm Casey Kasem. This model will self-destruct in 5 minutes. Oh. Hey, Jimmy. This is give you guys a tip on building models when you got to put two halves together. What you do is you get, because you got to be delicate, you get this piece in like that, and then once you get it in and it's lined up, you just pop it in like that, and that gets it nice and firm and puts everything in place. That's how you do that. Do not try that at home. You will fuck your models up. But yeah, me and Jimmy's been discussing this and how I'm going to do the wicker. Two ways I can do it, and we'll see. Shoot, I gotta get in touch with David Heights to give him his dadgum money. I owe David Heights some money. He's got some kits he's holding for me. I just need to send him the money. He can send them to me. Keep forgetting it though. More than likely, the caddy is gonna be the red that's on the box with the black. I'm thinking, or if I find another traditional color. Because what I'm doing with this is going museum quality. And not model museum quality. I mean, like, these cars today do exist. And they exist in museums. And private collections. And they do not get driven. So, I want to do a museum quality build. So, in other words, the theme for it is this car is going to be in a car museum. You know, so I want to try to get it accurate as I can get it. I have some thoughts, you know. I'm a first-time model builder. Any advice? Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a trap. It's an addiction. It sucks you in. And then you find yourself a young, good-looking musician on a Saturday night playing with plastic and talking to young men over the internet via live stream. Don't do it. So, you know, if I had any advice to give to a younger modeler, is slow down. That's the advice I could give to a young builder. Slow down. I don't even have to, yeah, but you're the exception, bud. You're the exception there, Rick. You're made of zinc. Come on. Yeah, that is one piece of advice I can give a young builder is slow down. The plastic's not going anywhere. It is not going anywhere. What I've learned with building, the slower pace I have, the better it comes out. For one, your paint work. We tend to work so quickly sometimes that we're being very gentle, but we know our paint hasn't cured. But we continue to work. And when we get done, it looks good. But if you slow down and let the paint properly cure, it really adds for the finish to be harder and last longer. Slow down when you're trying to build a chassis or anything like that. Scratch build it. Slow down. Draw it out on a piece of paper. Think it out. Build it out of sticks first. Do something. You know, just slow down. You don't have to build the whole entire interior or the whole chassis in one day. You don't have to do that. Slow down. You know, treat each individual piece of the car as its own separate model. That's the two things I could give you. You know, we'll give a quick example on this Johan. Something big enough that I can give an example to. We'll use the chrome because it shows up better, and I like it. I like it. The chrome is nice. The nice chrome. Okay, like the valve covers and you know, they're already chromed, so you could drop a little bit of black wash on it and stick them on, or stick them on and drop black wash on it. But take a look at it. If you took your time and treated this like its own model, okay, you've got screws, bolts. Okay, now you got choices. You can paint each individual one with a gold because a lot of times they use grade A bolts, and grade A bolts are golden looking. You can create a dipstick. You can create vents for that. You know, little things like that. Looking at parts that are molded as one, but are several different parts. That's another thing. When you're detailing a model, a lot of times they cast parts, several parts together as one. And it's really not that way. It's really not one piece. Do I have anything that I can show? You know, it's not one piece. You have all these separate different pieces. And the idea is, if you've got a piece that's molded all in one, and it's like 5 different components of the car, well, look at those different components of that car. And look at how they're painted. You know, look at how they've painted on the real thing and go, wow, check that out. Those 5 pieces connected to that thing going down to the end are actually part of the chassis. So if I spray that all black and then put it underneath that blue chassis, it's going to look like this big separate thing thrown up underneath there. But if I paint half of it blue, and then where my arms come out, paint them a different color and get it all in there, now it looks like the car has separate arms, and you forget about the other pieces, and that big one thing, that one molded piece, becomes several different pieces and fades away into the model kit. I'll drink to that. How about that? And I can show y'all a good example if you'd like to see it. Just let me know, because I don't want to bore you guys with this stuff. But I will definitely give you tips if I can. Hell, I give my girlfriend a tip all the time. You wanted it like that actual one? I beat you to it? Is that what you're saying? Alright, Swamp Donkey, I'll show you right quick. Now I got about 4 cars that are in 4 different stages of finished. Okay. Alright. Let's give you an example. And I've probably showed this example a couple of times, but this is just a good example for younger modelers, or any modeler really. Okay, here's an example. This is underneath the Miller car that I'm building. That is very close to done. I just got a few little tweaking things. Okay, if you look underneath this car, you see the chassis, you see the rear end, you see the arms, you see all the stuff that's supposed to be there. If you look down here, you see these separate pieces that slip down into the frame right there on each end, you know. You see your rear end where the arms, the Ford trailing arms, because there are Ford trailing arms that go in there, that go in right there and there, right? Now, there's an illusion here. Now I'm going to break the illusion for you so you can see what I mean about melding everything together. Got to mold it all together. Make parts that were casted as one into many parts, because they are. So if I grab this and just pull that off of there, now you see that's all one piece. You know, this is not a great example, but it's a good enough example. You see that it's all one piece there, right? And a lot of people would just spray this black and they stick it on. Well, what happens is all the stuff you see white, that's actually part of the chassis of the real car, you see. So, you know, now you're not, I mean, there's no wrong way, I don't guess, but now you're breaking the illusion. The idea is to flawlessly mold all this together so it looks like, you know it's all separate pieces. Now if I put it back in there, you can see that it looks like separate pieces. The same with this up here. This is several different, I mean it looks like several different pieces, but this is all one piece, you know, but it looks like several different pieces. It's got the little places here where the tabs come off of the frame, you know. The only thing I don't like about these NASCAR kits is this right here. Not much you can do about that. But, you know, there's the front of her. And she's really close to finished. So's Jimmy's car. I just gotta do them. But what do y'all think about that piece of advice? Is it a good idea? Do you see what I'm getting at about creating the illusion? Taking multiple, or pieces that were molded, you know, multiple pieces that was molded as one, and creating the illusion of them being multiple pieces. That's the idea behind it. A lot of people will take all the lower A-arms and stuff. They'll spray them all one color, stick them on. And then you look underneath the car and it's got these things that are there. And it looks like one piece is plastic just stuck on there, you know. If you paint it all out like you do this, now you see your lower A-arms. And they are slid into their slots. You know. The trailing arm, or the sway arm, I guess it's sway bar, I guess that's what you call it on this thing. It's all one piece. All this is all one piece, you know. But now it doesn't look like one piece. If you look at it closely, it even has the tabs on the frame, which is molded onto these A-arms. I just painted them. And they're slid in their slots like they're supposed to be. So, you know, that's just something to think about. And if you slow down and treat each part of the model like its own model, then you do things like that. I don't know if it's helping yous or hurting yous. Yes, that is called detail painting, and that is part of how you do it. Hi, honey. There's a pussy fight at Joe's tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, just letting you know. But, so, does that help any of y'all? At all? I hope it does. I hope it does. We're discussing the finer points of detail painting. And other things. But, and rusting and such. We're talking about the Cadillac build. You can bring me your Foose Cadillac if you'd like. I must put my vintage Johan back up. I'm just taking my time. Small brushes too. You need small brushes. Yeah, you just look at the pieces, brother. Thank you. Yeah, you go get small brushes. Now, when I mean small brushes, I mean small brushes. Don't get them from the model section. Go to Michael's and go to the paint section. And for those tiny little details, I don't even know if I got one right offhand. One that I'm not using anymore. I can go get one. And I think that it's privy to all this, so just hold on a second. Now, for those small fine details, I know those old white brushes that you get used to trying to use them, but here's one of my old detail brushes, and I actually have some smaller than this, but here it is. Now, if you can see how tiny that is. See how tiny that is? It's just a little bitty. Just a tiny little brush, and I think this one might be a little smaller. You know, so it allows you to do very small and precise things with just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of paint on there. I can reach down and I can tap all the bolts that need to be tapped. I can paint around certain areas, you know, with a very controlled way. What size brush is this? I don't know. It's a 00000. Yeah, it's a 00000. And they have some smaller than this, but you don't get them at Hobby Lobby. Go to Michael's. If you have a Michael's, go to their paint section. I sent Jimmy some of these. He's got some that are red. And they're a little thicker and easier to hold, you know. But you go to Michael's and you look through their paint brushes down at their paint section, and they've got these tiny, 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 tiny little brushes, and you want these. These will help your detailing skills immensely. The smallest brush from the Tester's kit, you can get good at using it. You can get used to using that big ass brush and sort of detail. But when you get this, you know, your level of detail skill will rise, because you have the ability to actually put it where you want it, instead of, you know, barely leading up to it or trying to figure out how. It's just using toothpicks. Don't use toothpick. This is your toothpick. And you got twice the control, 10 times the control on this. You know, if you really wanted to, you could grab this, plant your finger with the paint on it, and you can run down that line. I do that all the time, painting stuff. You know, lead up to it. And I hope this helped you. I hope it helped you use ink. Everybody, you know. I definitely, if there's anything I know, I'd like to show you guys if you don't. Later, man. Take it easy. You modified the Tester's brush. Well, don't modify the Tester's brush no more. Just go get you a couple of these. You know, and they make them in different tiny sizes. Get all of them you can find. You know, get the real short, tiny, tiny, tiny. And then get the little long one. But I like the little tiny one, smaller than this. You know, get you a few of those. And clean up. Dip them in thinner first before you do anything. Before you ever put paint in it. Dip it in thinner first. See, because the thinner will protect the brush. You know, you dip it in thinner first and let that thinner soak in, and it soaks up into the brush here. It kind of adds like a protective layer. Then you know, paint with it and then clean it. Don't ever leave it sitting in, but you clean it and then you pull it out and, you know, clean it off and let it dry, you know. And that's what you need to do, you know. Yeah, I shaved my head, young modeler. I shaved my head. Oh. So do y'all like the rusting job that's going on there, y'all? Y'all digging it? I wish I had better light. Jimmy, you still using that tiny brush I sent you? I sent you a couple. Oh, yeah, Foos Caddy. I took a look in here, and this car, this particular model, has a bent front A-pillars. They're all crushed up. So be careful when you'll get these Foos cars, because that looks like it's an issue in these cars. The box was not crushed. It was perfectly sealed. I opened it myself to look at it, and that was That was, it was already crushed. So it's not a bad fix. It could be fixed. I'm just putting my thumb underneath it and it's going back. But, and, the first Foose kits, like I have a first generation right here, they put some wheels in it. They lowered the axles. They put a decal sheet in it. And they called it a Foose kit. In reality, that car that Foose did, the 65 Impala, actually has a Corvette chassis and Corvette interior, and it's shortened and widened. That's just a stock kit. So they went ahead and completely designed real Foose cars, which I think was a wonderful idea for them. So you got to cut them some slack because they don't do it often. They completely tooled a new kit, so they're going to have some marks here and there, and some good points and some bad points. But props to them for doing it. I think I'm going to go get me one of these caddies too. I'm not going to build it for the caddy build off. Y'all know what I'm doing. I'm doing the vintage Johan, the Johanian. I might build it in my aluminum Falcon. Come on, boys and girls. Yeah. They'll figure it out. They'll re-release the kit and put some kind of brace in there. Yeah, they'll do that. So cut them some slack. It's not often that Revell decides to make a brand new tooling. The majority of all their toolings are revamped toolings that already existed, and they add and subtract things, and they change the bodies around a little bit. So it's cool that they did it. That, and they just changed some moldings around on a Foose truck. But it is what it is. Like it. I mean, I do. I do. So, and I'm liking this. I really am. I'm thinking that this car here is just coming out nice. I think it's going to look great. I mean, you really can't see it, though. Really can't see it because of the light. Damn cats, man. Miller Time Mustang, or Miller Lite Mustang. Never seen the Miller Lite Mustang. I like all beer cars. I might have to do some trading. I got another cool Mustang kit coming that I don't think I'm ever gonna build. It's a hot rod Mustang Cobra 2. Oh, Bud Miller. Okay, I got you. Oh, I got 2 of those. Yeah, what am I thinking? I got 2 of those. Be careful with those cars. They build good. I still got to finish mine. I need to get a couple more of those too because I've got some things I got to do. But I do got that car, and I'll review it. Chances are I'm never going to build it, though. I had buyer's remorse when I immediately bought it. I was like, damn it. But I do have the ZZ Top car coming. Well, they hate them because, when I grew up, the Mustang 2s that everybody hates, those little ugly ones, had went through the bad stage, and they were so cheap that all of the drag people were buying them and putting massive engines in them and racing them on the drag strip, and then they became kind of cool. But, when they were new, you went out to buy a fucking Cobra Mustang, and you got that. You went from... what's that damn movie where they raced the Ford Mustang and the Charger through the streets of Chicago? Bullet. You went from the Bullitt Mustang to that. You have a good night too, sir. So that's why a lot of people shun on them. But they went through their bad day enough to where you can put so much aftermarket stuff in those things, and they do look cool. Mine's a Hot Rod Edition Revell. It's red, and I think it has almost looks like Corvette wheels on it, but it's pretty cool, you know. The old hearse is dirty. And the Fury's over there. You know. The lady from across the street got the door kicked in and she went to jail. There's the Fury. The IROC's in the back. But, yeah, I'm going to do that ZZ Top car. 32 coupe. I don't think that it's very detailed, but I don't really care. You know, I just want the car. I got to get another Miller High Life Dragster, the gold one, because I fucked the decals up. How cold is it? I don't know. 40 degrees? No. 50 maybe? I don't know. It's not extremely cold, but it's cool. It's cool. You know, I don't need a jacket right now, but if I stood out here for an hour, I'd probably get cold. I might have the perfect kit for you then, young modeler. If I decide I want to keep it, then I'll keep it. But in that case, you'll know what to get. But then we might be able to work something out. You love the 54 monorated I got? Yeah, it's in the shop right now, actually. I beat the drums off of it, but I don't have time to work on it, so she's going to a shop. She's going to get the work done, you know, and then it's the 59. But in the same sense, I got to work on the hearse, the IROC, the motorcycle, and the Fury all at once. And I am carred out right now. I'm ready to start driving that Lincoln again, put that Fury up. Yeah, it'd be a cool build. I'm thinking about putting a modern day engine in the 65 Dodge that I'm doing right now and make it kind of a pro mod. What y'all's thoughts on that? Or I can just put the original engine in it. I don't have any modern day engines, and I don't know if any of the modern day Chargers. The Viper drivetrain's been done a bunch though. Jimmy did it in a Charger. You know, pro mod. No, that's not a pro mod, but sort of a pro mod. What do they call it? Everything looks stock on the outside, but it's got modern day stuff. I'm thinking about trying to get one of those new Chargers. Does some of those new Charger kits come with the Hellcat motor? No, don't put a Chevy in it. Are you an idiot? That's like putting a Hemi in a Chevelle. You just don't do it. The Dodge motor that's in it's faster than the Chevy motor. You know, it's got the freaking 440 in it. Why put a 350 in it when it can have a 440? So, what are you, an idiot? Of course I'm mean. Look at my head. Let's see. Yes, I'd put a Chevy motor in a Ford. And you call it Ford Tough with Chevy stuff. Pro Touring, that's it. Pro Touring. Thank you, sir. Let's see. I was thinking about putting some wheels on it like that, but I'm probably not going to use those. And I don't really have any modern engines. You know, I really don't. It's all, you know, like that's definitely. I mean, I don't have anything. If y'all spot something, this is a Snap-on kit, so it don't really have nothing in it. All those Mustangs are Ford motors. You know, I don't really have anything modern to put in there. So I'd have to, you know, really be creative. And, you know, all my big stuff is over there. Let's see. No, Ford's not better than any small block Chevy. And let me tell you why. For one, you can make the Chevy faster a lot quicker. But it will cost you 3 to 4 times as much money to build that 302 and make it as fast as that Chevrolet. You could put all the same stuff in each engine. It's going to cost you 3 times as much to do that Ford than it would be that small block. So it's the poor man's hot rod. I like Chevrolets. They're easier to work on. They're more dependable. More stuff out there for them. You know, as far as me building something to kind of drive every day. But I like Dodges, you know, and Pontiacs. I'm a big Pontiac guy. But, you know. There's all kinds of different things, though. That's why there's a variety. If we were all the same, it'd be a quite boring place, wouldn't it? You know, we can make a Pro Touring chauffeur caddy. But yeah, it's just more expensive to build them Fords. They're I don't know if it was a Cleveland or Windsor. I think it was a Windsor, which was the bigger engine. It was like a big block. I've owned 7 or 8 of those, and just about all of them rattled every time you started those engines. And it would quit. And that was the Achilles heel of that engine. That's what they do. You build that sumbitch. They did it brand new on the showroom, those engines. They knocked when you first start them after they were sitting. You know, and it's just part of the design of the engine. It knocks till it gets oil pressure built. You know, I don't like the Ford suspensions. You know, their suspension, I guess they say it holds up better, but it doesn't. It doesn't handle worth a crap. Their twin I-beam suspension drives like a tractor. You know, but you know, I've owned a few Ford work trucks. They're good work trucks, you know, but their suspension sucks. You know, there's several different pros and cons, I guess, but I just, you know, some of the Ford stuff from the 80s was awful. I like the older Ford stuff. If it's a Ford, of course I'm going to hate it. I like older Ford. I owned 2 older Fords. I owned a 59 Ford Galaxy and a 54 Mercury Monterey, which is a Ford product. '41 Willis Street Rod. Yeah, I don't really like the Willis. I've got one. I've got one that I've had for quite a few years. It's weathered. Yeah, it all depends on what car, what truck. I love 57 Fords. You know, I like the older stuff. Some of the 80s stuff I like. Some, which would be one, it'd be one 5.0 Mustang in particular, the Vanilla Ice car. But I don't like any of the trucks unless it's 70s. You know, and the new stuff just I don't know what you can tell with car design today. They don't draw cars no more. It's all done in a CAD system. In a computer. These beautiful lines on this car is 80s style car. This was hand drawn. This beautiful swooping line coming down. Come on, man. This was all hand drawn. They just don't do that anymore. It's all done by CAD. Yeah, I like 70s stuff. But young modeler, you need to get into the Cadillac build. If you build a Cadillac, I'll build a Ford. How about that? I have to actually finish the build for my mom. Rick Zink sent me the kit, and I put it away because I couldn't deal with it. But I'm going to eventually bring it out and do it. I need to do that. That's something I have to do. I got to finish that. Yeah, I want to start the Orange Blossom Special. I went as far as even getting the paint for it. I got Hugger Orange, as a matter of fact, for the Orange Blossom Special because I wanted it orangey. Make it more orangey, brighter, stick out more. But man, I love the way those two cars. I mean, just the size of that bad boy. He's out of the hospital. He keeps going in there for addictomies. Yeah, I just love that, man. I love that car. And this one, like I said, it's come out pretty good. Looks like nice dry surface rust. Like it should. I like it. I like it, I like it. So that's Something Old. Sponsored by Rick Zink. A subsidiary of Zink's Models. Zoinks. But, yeah. This will be going Rick's way as soon as this model is finished. This is an original Johan instruction sheet for this particular car. And it's really cool. Not a tremendous amount of pieces here, but enough. Hood may also fold. Yeah, we're not trying that. Oh God, no, we ain't trying that. Nope, this hood will not fold, mainly because if I folded it, it'd be the end of it. But yeah, this will be going to Rick Zink, along with the Orange Blossom Special stuff and the Bigfoot stuff and the I'm going to send my stuff to Rick Zink's model shop and, contact him because he collects his stuff for Something Old. A little series he likes to do. And he likes to show these old kits and these old instructions. And, it's just really cool to look at this stuff. You're falling asleep while watching me. Well, not no different than my old lady. Fat Kid Productions. I don't know if he's on YouTube. Guy makes a distributor, sells them in Atlanta. Placed an order with him a month ago now. I ain't heard from him. He ain't answering nothing back. It's a big order. I haven't heard from him, and I'm getting a little worried because now it's starting to hold my projects up. I've got a V16 distributor coming for this, or supposed to be. I ain't heard nothing from him. So, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm getting a little worried here. I don't know if he just doesn't like me and doesn't want to do the stuff. Or maybe something happened to him because he's not even receiving my shit. So, Sweet Scale Detail, he got in a bit of an accident and broke his back. He was supposed to send me a bunch of stuff and he hadn't been able to because of his accident. So I told him, hey man, whenever he gets here, I don't care. He's a great guy and, wish him well. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm resulting to doing cars, and gluing the hood shut on some of them because I can't put any detail in them because I've got this freaking order that's backed way up, and I'm waiting on the guy. But if y'all know Fat Kid Productions, and y'all can contact him, please do. But anyway, guys, everybody's falling asleep. I might as well get off of here. I think I'm going to jump on GTA for a minute and play some stuff. I'd get Swamp Donkey too, but, he'd have to move the hogs out of the living room and put them back in the pen. But, alright, guys. Guess I'm going to get off of here. And, you're bluing the hood shut. Use some glue. Do not blue. Don't use blue. Blue's for guns. But, anyway, guys, let's see. Yeah, well, I'm going to get on GTA is what I'm fixing to do. But alright, guys, thank you for tuning in and hanging out and seeing this stuff. I hope I gave you guys some good tips in the beginning for weathering and detail work and brushes and such. Thank you all, for being in here and hanging out with me. I could be out at a bar drunk somewhere losing my jewelry and getting in fights. Instead, I chose to be here with you guys, staying sober, keeping my nose clean, and, loving the styrene. So, I'm Little Joe from Back Bay Scale Customs. Thank you all so much for tuning in and hanging out with me. I hope you learned something, and I hope you was entertained. So, if y'all want to contact me, you know how to do it. So, I'm going to ease off of here now. So, I will see you guys later. So, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.